This video is going to analyse the dispute from the movie The Insult, some of the causes of the dispute and how it could have been better resolved. There are some obvious surface causes in the dispute, with Yasser and Tony both being very unpleasant to each other at the start. However, the underlying causes are much more important. The emotions of both men are very high and both have a history of trauma. There's political tensions in Lebanon between the Christian Party, which Tony affiliates himself with, and the Palestinians, of which Yasser is a Palestinian refugee. We see the dispute escalate once more with the pride of both men needing to feel as though they are in the right. The anti-Palestinian propaganda that's playing on the TV when Yasser goes with the intention of apologising provokes him and leads to him injuring Tony by punching him. This also leads to a court case where Tony becomes highly emotional and outraged when he finds that the court is being unjust in letting Yasser off. There are also complications with the birth of Tony's daughter, and then further to this we can see that the lawyers are a father and daughter combination with clear political allegiances. On top of all of these already overwhelming factors, there's the massive divide in the country of Lebanon. Both men are lacking power in this exchange, with Yasser being a refugee and feeling as though no country will take him in. He also had no lawyer at his first court appearance, and further to this, he was let go by his job once again due to his identity as a Palestinian. Tony also feels powerless and within his own country. He feels like his past trauma, which we find out towards the end of the movie, is insignificant. He also believes the court system and public opinion is against him and pro-Palestinian. The rights of both men came into conflict at the original dispute. Tony had the right to give consent to fix his property before it being worked on, and Yasser had the right to do his job and had also previously asked for consent and was denied. On top of this, we can see Yasser lacks the basic rights as a refugee. He wants to feel respected and as though he belongs to something. Tony also feels as though he's lacking belonging in his own country and also brings up the right of freedom of speech in defence of the insult that he used against Yasser. The interests of both men are quite similar, and we can see that they are both quite similar men in this instance. They both feel insulted and needed to be dignified as being in the right, and this leads to an escalation of the conflict as we saw earlier. They both want to have their pride restored without giving too much to the other. They're both dealing with past traumas and high emotion. This dispute required some sort of dispute resolution as early as possible and with an independent professional. We can see attempts by Yasser's boss were met with hostility from Tony, and he did not feel like it was going to be a fair negotiation. Negotiation was too informal for the strong needs of both men to feel right. However, court was not the best place for this. The emphasis on the emotional needs of both men were far more important, and the legal setting could not provide for their needs in this instance. I believe mediation would be the best solution, as it's far more flexible than court and can address the emotional needs of both men and the complexities of their background. Further to this, it would keep costs down and public tension out of the process. A mediator would be a fair and impartial person to help them solve the dispute.